This podcast has been brought to you by Podcast Nation.
So I got socks on. I got no pants on. I got no
You
underwear.
kept your socks on?
I kept my socks on. Should I have taken them off?
I don't know. I just feel like it's weirder.
Like, I'm not there for sex. I'm not like, hey, how do you like my fucking Frodo Baggin' feet? Like, it's not an OnlyFans account. And yeah, I left my socks on, but should I not have left my socks
the
on?
The visual is just funny to me.
It's funny to you. It's funny to you. I'm wearing a golf shirt. Like,
we'll do it live. Fuck it.
You're listening to the Laughing Couple podcast with your hosts, Brittany and Ryan Ostafy. Join them weekly as they discuss topics such as relationships, kids, sex, parenting, all unfiltered and all with a healthy dose of laughter. Please welcome your hosts, Brittany and Ryan Ostafy.
We're going to redo that bit now that my mic's on.
Look how good they look.
I didn't realize how thick nails were.
But don't they look so pretty?
Yeah.
They look like Barbie. What's your favorite Aqua song?
Well, I didn't see this question coming. I'm going to go with Dr. Jones.
No shit.
Yeah, Dr. Jones. I hate when audio doesn't work and then we got to redo
We just
what
had
we're
this whole
talking
conversation
about.
literally 30 seconds prior, but I just really wanted to know. My favorite Aqua song is also Dr. Jones. And there's another one that's like, in the heat of the night,
We are having a siesta.
we will dance.
Fiesta or
into
siesta?
till the
Siesta
sun-
sleep, fiesta is a
In the heat of the
festival.
night, you're having a siesta, which means you're having a heated dream. So I feel like it would be fiesta. Could also be a possibility.
In the heat of
the
the night,
night,
we are taking a
having a
break to
fiesta.
have a sleep.
No,
That's probably not what it is.
I think it's siesta.
We are having a fiesta.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Fiesta de la Resistance. Nope.
Good job.
Wow. I don't know Spanish, guys.
Okay, you wanted to say something, so I don't want you to forget. What is
I
it?
have this brilliant piece that I heard the other day.
Okay.
You know what do you call it on Instagram where someone asks a question like, show me being a mom without showing me without
Yeah.
and then someone like, is it called splices?
Stitch.
They stitch.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard, okay. So someone stitched something the other day
Yeah.
and they said, what was the one moment in your life that was an aha moment where everything changed?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said, when I went to therapy.
It's the universe telling you
No,
that Ryan needs to go to therapy.
No, that's not what I'm saying. And maybe
Okay.
I do. Maybe I do.
Okay.
Maybe I do. But
We're going to
that's
be
not
talking
what
about the vasectomy today, so buckle up also, everyone. Because I just, sorry for interrupting you. I have had so many people tell me and ask me that they hope that we're talking about the vasectomy because you got it last week and they want to know your opinions and all of the stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah.
It's
yeah.
happening.
I will share my opinions on the
Anyway,
vasectomy.
sorry, go ahead.
Pre, during, and post
Go ahead.
vasectomy.
Go ahead.
So anyways,
So he said when I go into therapy.
so he said when I went into therapy,
Okay.
he said the therapist had asked him like, what's going on in your life, right? And he said, I'm winning here, 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 and I don't feel happy. And so I want to feel happy, which is, maybe I do need to go to therapy, but maybe he just gave me,
The quote was me.
yeah, maybe he just gave me an insight.
Right
He
after
said,
me.
the therapist said, are you a good father? He said, yes, I'm a good father. He said, are you a good husband? He said, yes, I'm a good husband. He said, are you a good son? He says, yes, I'm a good son.
Are you a good mechanic?
He said, are you a
No.
good friend? Too soon, Brittany. Too soon.
Sorry.
Too
I'm
soon.
ruining this.
He said, are you a good employer or employee? And he said, yes. And he said, okay. So you're a good husband? He said, yeah. He said, that's for your wife. He said, you're a good father? He said, yeah, I'm a great father. He said, well, that's for your kids. He said, you're a good son? He said, yeah. He said, well, that's for your parents. He said, you're a good friend? He said, yeah. He said, that's for your friends.
What's left?
He said,
for
are you a good employer? That's for your employees. Are you a good employee? That's for your employer. He said, what are you for yourself?
Yeah.
And the guy said, at the end of the day, there just really isn't much left for me.
That's so sad.
But it is, but it's eye-opening. We are always
I think that there's
showing the best version of ourselves for everybody in our lives. And at the end of the day, what are we actually doing for us?
Yeah, well, I know that you that's definitely something that you could do better for yourself, because in the summer, like, you'll golf occasionally, but like that's not consistent enough for you to have that like serotonin release. Like, you need to do something, like, it's not like you're part of a league or whatever, like, to have that release, right? And I think there's some coded things in there too. Like, yes, being a good father is good for your kids, and being a good husband is good for your wife or husband. But I think those things can also bring you joy.
Oh, they do.
Do you know what I mean?
All of those things bring me joy.
Yeah.
But the whole idea of it was like everything that you put your effort into, realistically speaking, is in most cases benefiting someone else.
No, I don't disagree.
What is it that is just solely for the benefit of you?
Yeah, what is it? Could you answer that right now? Like, what do you do for you?
I cannot, and that's why I wanted to share this with you.
Lately.
I cannot. I've got
Got
4 more
nothing.
days. I got 4 more days before I'm allowed to masturbate.
And then there's going to be blood in it.
And I'm told that I'm going to be bleeding when I do. So I'm like really looking forward to being like, murder scene. Can't wait for that. Like, can't wait to clean that shit up.
Well, what is it? Because I think that we've discussed this a couple times. You're not a huge drinker.
No, I don't like to
like
drink.
to be like, hey, and that's not to say like if we go out and we're intentionally like partying, you'll have some drinks or you'll take a gummy. But you're not one to be
I'll
like,
get drunk.
no, I know, but you're
I'll
not.
have a good time.
Totally.
I'm not a robot.
I just
I'm not
mean like
Sheldon.
weekly. You've never been one to like crack open a beer just like because you want to drink. Like, that's just never been you.
Yeah.
So it's hard because a lot of the times, and we've discussed this in length, the way males communicate now is very surface because, like, again, emotions are hard to get through with a lot of dudes together. And sometimes that breakthrough is to, like, let's go grab a drink, which you still do occasionally. But, like, it's not like you're going and meeting up and being like, we're going to have a beer, because you don't do that. You're not playing baseball. You don't play hockey.
Have you seen my baseball?
So I just feel like
He was masturbating. See, they all tie together.
you need something for you that is separate from everybody else. I literally tried to get you to do the indoor golf league, and you
talked
just didn't
about-
book it. I'm like, is he waiting for me to book this?
No, I wasn't waiting for you to
Well,
do
a little.
shit, Brittany.
You just didn't do it.
No, here's the thing. We talked about this on a podcast like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
It was having a third place.
Yes.
Right. And when you work from home, work and home aren't 2 places.
Yeah.
They're 1 place.
And I feel this
And
too.
yeah, you feel this. I feel this. I don't have a second place, let alone a third place. But what I'm getting at is not even, this wasn't actually designed for me. I just so you know, I was reading this for you. That's the best part about this. I was reading this as a way for you to start looking at it, of what do you do for you, unbeknownst to me that I'm the one that actually doesn't really
I
anything for
definitely
me.
fill my cup with my friends way more than you.
100% you do.
My friends,
You also have more friends than I have. Like, that's just like, that's it. Oh, which reminds me, I heard this beautiful
I got a new friend.
I got this new friend. His name's Jessup. What is it?
Oh, Jobin.
Jobin. You too, Jobin. What did you just say?
See you later, Jobin.
Nothing, man. You
Later's
said this
on the
and I didn't know what to
Menjay.
say, so I said Jobin, and it means
I will
nothing.
see you there. I will see you at another time.
Anyways, yeah, what a great movie.
Okay.
Underappreciated.
Anyways,
oh, listen,
hold
here's
on.
a
Okay,
this is a
I
great
just wanted
set.
to finish this up.
It's exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
So this gentleman said that widows do far better.
Widows do battle.
Widows do better than anybody else. Yes. Widowy. This is your captain speaking. Widowy.
Okay.
Widows do better than widowers. And way better, statistically way better. Widows last far longer than widowers. As in, females do better when their partner dies than men do when their partner dies.
There's a different name for that.
One is a widow and one is a widower.
There's a feminine and masculine.
Yeah, a
term
widower
for
is
that?
a man who lost his spouse.
I'm not kidding. I literally thought
widow.
you were saying like.
What?
So embarrassing.
Like the rapturees?
No, I thought you were saying
What?
that the alive person does better than the dead person, and I was like, no
No
shit.
shit. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, the widower, the dead one. Obviously, he's not super.
They say it's way easier for the person to die than for the people who are dealing with the death.
It's so much easier.
Heaven is way easier than losing someone.
Oh my God, I did not know that. So widow is the female who's lost their husband, and then the partner, and then the male is the widower.
The widower.
Interesting. How did I not know that?
The person who died is the widowee.
Widow is
Yes.
it? Widowy?
The person who is widowy.
Widowy?
Yeah, the person who died is widowy, the dead person. Widowy, the dead person. I feel like Jojo Siwa.
Oh my God.
Come
I've
as
been
a
a
bitch.
bad girl.
I should have known better.
With your
Oh my God. Actually, you know what's really funny? I'm jumping all over the place.
I know, Jesus.
Have you ever seen the movie? Well, you've seen Miraculous Ladybug.
God, yes.
Riley sent me a meme the other day, or a GIF, or whatever, a video on Instagram of Jojo Siwa getting angry, and then Hawkmoth changing her to this new version of Jojo Siwa, and it was hilarious. Anyways, so the reason for this, and this will go to your point, and then you can jump back in, is they said they asked 70-year-old and plus 60-year-old and plus men who their best friend was, and over 60% of them said their wives. And only 30% of the women said their husbands.
Interesting.
Because what happens is most men lose their circle of friends through their career path, and women tend not to. So women tend to have a group of friends that they can rely on and depend on and keep moving forward with. Because realistically, when you're dealing with trauma and you're dealing with death, having a supporting cast around you is the fastest, easiest way for you to move on with your life, so to speak.
And women, I think, just do a better job at cultivating those friendships as they move forward, where men are like inward. Like they don't do a good job of going out and seeking friendship, especially as an adult. I cannot imagine as a widower, as a male, being like,
Widowy.
Hey, widowy, what do I do?
Yeah. Seriously. But what he was
Widowy,
saying,
what
he was saying, which was fascinating, is not only do you guys cultivate better relationships, but you feel comfortable in those relationships sharing your emotions.
Yes.
So
Had a long talk yesterday with one of my friends.
In the existence of losing someone, you feel comfortable going to your support group and sharing your emotions.
Where the male feels comfortable going to their spouse.
Where the male only talks to their spouse.
Yeah.
So not only is the spouse, not only did the male lose their best friend, but now they lost the person that they talked to. Whereas women didn't lose their best friend, they lost their partner and have their best friend who is their support group to talk to.
Right.
It's a fascinating little discovery.
So let's go back to like, what do you think that you could do actively to fill your cup? It's funny that you thought of me for that. Like I
always think of you, Brittany.
I fill my cup with my friends. I make plans. I love to organize parties and themes and have friends over. Like I love to do that. That fills my cup. I like to do those Halloween like shit and summer theme. Like I love that. You know that I love that, and that fills my cup. Or we're going out and doing a night out, whatever. I love that. But you don't. I would say I'm the planner or organizer in my group of friends. It says like we should do this and people come, but the male
doesn't have that person.
Usually doesn't
Actually,
have that person.
if you have that person in your life, they're great to be with.
Yeah.
More often than not, the guy who's planning trips all the time doesn't necessarily always have his life together. And he just wants to party and wants to keep like being youthful alive, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah,
it's just not a me thing.
Yeah, you do. I would say the last couple of years, you've really made it a priority to spend a lot of time with your dad, like planning intentional, like mini vacations and stuff.
Very
which
intentional
I know
with your dad too.
Yes, yeah. I just think that I know that fills your cup for sure. But then again, I think it's filling your dad's cup, but it also is filling your cup.
Oh, it's not for my dad.
Yeah, it's for you.
It's for me.
But I think you could definitely use.
It is for my dad. Like
you could use something.
I'm glad he's happy. I'm doing it for me.
No, I know.
Because I know there will be a day in my life, if the world works, the circle of life works in the order it's supposed to work. There will be a day in my life when I will want to plan something with my father and I won't be able to. And so that pain that I feel when I think about that, I replace by doing shit with my dad.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a good thing to think about for you, like what you could be doing to help you fulfill that. Like today, you're going and I think you're gonna go meet someone today. Are you not?
Yeah,
later?
I am.
You have like a meeting type. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Okay, can we quickly talk about?
Look at me making friends and having a beer. I'll have a pint of what's your beer
Friendship.
what's the beer with the lightest amount of calories? A Michelob Ultra. I'll have one of those, please. I'm gonna be the weird guy.
Can we talk about how fucking weird JoJo Siwa's video is?
JoJo
Guilty pleasure.
Siwa's.
Oh my god, have you seen it? You'll not be able to unsee
I
it.
feel
so just
like
prepare yourself.
I feel like JoJo Siwa is troubled.
Well, you didn't even know she was on
scares
Dance
me.
Moms, and like the poor thing was exposed to reality TV and the most harsh criticism at such a young age. How can you not be? Like the fact that she's not more fucked up is actually quite impressive. It's just I think it's hard to see when you see an artist who is so desperately trying to remove herself from like the Disney kid, because she was JoJo Siwa with the bows and like everyone loved her bows, right? Like that was her thing. And so now she's trying to be seen in more of an adult manner, which is totally fine and validated. It's more, I can see literally the PR team who has curated this for her. And somebody has signed off on this and said, yes, this is what we're going to present to the world. And you know what's fucked? People are talking about it. So it's working, but it's also not in a
She's following the
positive
Miley
space.
Cyrus trend.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Miley Cyrus had a lot of like, it was just in your face. Like it was like, ugh. It was a lot.
I have to be the opposite of who I was for you to see me as not that anymore.
And maybe she'll come to her own. Like Miley Cyrus today, incredible. Like she's really found herself.
I love this version of Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, she's fabulous.
I'm worried that JoJo Siwa may never get there. Mm-hmm. Just like I was worried that Miley Cyrus would never get there. I worry as in like they don't know who I am and I don't know who they are. But I think when you're a human being and you're watching someone create something that you can just see doesn't align to who they actually are, it's evident.
Yeah. Anyways, the video is dramatic.
And the problem that I have with going from Nickelodeon or Disney to this extreme version of that, which feels very toxic to me, is
they have a fan
base that's going to follow them into that.
Little girls. Yeah.
When I hear Riley and Cooper, karma's a bitch, I should have known better, I'm thinking, well, it's a catchy little tune. But then when I listen to the lyrics, I'm like, these lyrics are inappropriate for my children.
Well, the guilty pleasure.
But they don't know that. They just know it's JoJo
we
Siwa
were all about
with
like
black paint face and moving her head weird.
We grew up with before 4. Like, if you get down on me, I'll get down on
Again,
you.
catchy song, but didn't know what it meant.
Anything. And like, then you go even older, and like, you know how I just saw a reel on this. Somebody was like, the Gen Z today thinks it's like, oh my God, the lyrics are so like scandalous. Like, I've been a nasty girl, that song. And then he's like fucking remixing it to our shit, which is like the Yin Yang Twins, where it's like, wait till you see my dick. Oh, wait, do you know that one?
No.
Beat it. Oh my God, are you kidding?
Nope, nobody knows what
Are
you're
you
talking
joking?
about.
You've never.
Who are the Yin Yang Twins?
No, you guys.
Are they like the Soldier Boy? That's it.
Hey,
no, that's
little
Soulja
mama,
Boy.
let me whisper in your ear. I'm going to tell you something that you like to hear. Are you serious? Wait till you see my... Oh my God, you guys. No. No. The Whisper song. You don't know the Whisper song?
No.
Wait till you see my... Okay, Jesus
Wait
Christ.
till you see my dick.
I have to.
Wait till you see
Listen.
my dick.
We're going to have to fast forward.
How quickly does it get to the part that we would recognize?
Hey, how you doing, love mama? Let me whisper in your ear. Tell you something that you might like to hear. Got a sexy ass body and your ass looks soft. Mind if I touch it and see if it's soft.
Yeah, yo.
I'm just playing, let's just say
Wait till it gets to the chorus.
I'm known to be a real nasty man. And they say a closed mouth don't get fed. So I don't mind ass fed. You heard what I said.
Maybe I should fast forward.
Anyways,
a bit.
listen, I get it. Okay. I'm not saying that the JoJo Siwa's lyrics are inappropriate for me to listen to. JoJo Siwa's lyrics are inappropriate for my 10-year-old to listen to. And the problem that I have with JoJo Siwa's lyrics is my daughter doesn't know that JoJo Siwa is saying inappropriate shit now.
Yes, okay, but I found the
What I love is this generation listening to Eminem and being so offended.
I know. Okay, can you just
Have you
listen?
seen those?
Can you listen to this part?
Hey, bitch, wait till you see my dick. Wait till you see my dick. Hey, bitch, wait till you see my dick.
Wait.
I'm gonna beat that pussy up. Hey, bitch, wait till you see
Have you
my
never
dick.
heard this song?
Wait till you see my
Honestly to God, all I see is
way-
Paul Rudd. All I see is Paul Rudd in the mirror.
The way I dance so
Wait till you
slutty
see
to this
my
in the
dick.
bar. Are you
Wait
kidding?
till you see my dick.
Anyways,
I'm gonna beat that pussy
That
up. It's literally what he's
I cannot
saying.
believe you don't know that song, the Whisper song. Oh my God.
Brittany-
so many nights spent
Brittany-
was I dancing on the floor.
Brittany, maybe there's a reason.
No.
Maybe there's a reason I don't have a lot of friends. You know me when it comes to new music.
Yeah.
I get in the car with you, Coop, and Riley, and you guys are singing songs. I'm like,
I didn't
how do
know
you
this
guys know the lyrics to this song?
Yeah.
You're like, have you ever heard this song before? I'm like, I listen to audiobooks in my car or I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
don't listen to it.
Let's circle back here.
When I'm cleaning
though.
dishes, I listen to CCR, baby.
Yes.
That's the
Or
70s. That's my
Cecilia.
dad's music. Have you ever noticed this? When we were in a car, we listened to our parents' music.
We called William Matar.
Right? When we were in a car, we listened to our parents' music. When I'm in a car by myself, I still listen to my parents' music.
Yeah. I love oldies too.
I still listen to my parents' music in the car because my parents' music was better than our music as far as I'm concerned. And we had some really good bangers. Don't get me wrong, really good bangers. But my parents' music was better than our music. But do you ever notice that when we get into the car with our kids, we listen to their music?
No, that's you. They listen to my music
Oh.
when we're in the car, and that's why they know all of the songs because I always have the playlist.
DJ Brittany.
That's why
I'm like,
that's why
sure,
Cooper
I'll
knows,
listen to the Wiggles.
But that's why they play. That's why they know all of those songs and they like them. Like
Maybe
they
I'm a
love
people pleaser.
OLP. They love.
Maybe I'm just a people
It's very
pleaser.
revealing for you
Yeah,
this year. Okay, so but can we? I want to talk about. I do want to talk about your vasectomy, but I would also quickly like to speak about the situation that happened at camp yesterday and the conversation
I'm
that
pissed.
Riley and Scarlett had with you. That was so fucked up. And like, I will say, I called Chantel. I called the other girl's mom just to get her perspective. So this is the situation. Our kids are in camp this week. Ryan was dropping them off, and Riley and her friend Scarlett tell Ryan that their camp counselor told them yesterday, not that anyone's listening with kids, told them yesterday that
If you are listening with kids,
earmuffs, turn it off.
now's the time to not be.
Yeah, Santa Claus warning.
5,
Yeah.
4,
Okay,
3, 2.
So-
Sunday.
Their camp counselor told the kids, Riley and Scarlett, that Santa Claus wasn't real and that their parents made it up as a story and Santa Claus is your parents. Are you fucking kidding me?
You have no goddamn right.
Why would you think that that's appropriate
Yes.
to take that on to tell somebody else's child without having a conversation with the parents? And I'm like, what? So I called Chantel, Riley's friend's mom, and she said, okay, so this was weird because she heard the girls talking about this on Monday, but Genevieve and Cooper were in the car, so she was trying to shut the information down. But what Scarlett had said was that one of the other kids had said something along the lines of like, Santa Claus is dead. And so then I guess the counselor said something along the lines of like, Santa Claus isn't real.
He's
Whatever.
a saint.
Whatever. No,
Saint
but hold
Nicholas.
on. And so then she was like panicking because she just didn't want Genevieve and Cooper to hear like anything about Santa Claus and dramatic and whatever. But I'm like, so I don't want to like jump down this camp counselor's throat. And the girls were like, please don't say anything because we don't want them to be mad at us for the rest of the week if you like get mad at them. And we said like, I won't say anything today, but you better bet your ass on Friday I will be speaking to the counselor and just, well, I'm talking all like tough. I want to know her side of the story because I don't want to come up and be like, what the fuck? But
I don't care what her side of the story is.
no, because
no camp counselor has the right to tell any kid
I'm not
that
saying
Santa Claus isn't real.
I
That
am
is not
not-
their position. If a kid is asking you,
Yes,
is Santa
I know.
Claus real?
That's not what
that
I'm
means they
saying.
don't know.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I love our daughter. Sometimes she embellishes or confuses or exaggerates a story. And when she's with Scarlett, they have a tendency to do that. So before
But
I jump,
sweetheart, they were telling me the
No,
same story
listen,
simultaneously.
I'm not saying that I'm not going to address the situation, but I'm also saying I'd like to ask instead of accuse. So I'd like to say, could you please explain this a little bit further?
Good for you. I was about to burn the camp down.
I
today.
just don't want to come up and then she'd be like, oh, sorry, that was a misunderstanding or whatever. Like there needs to be a serious conversation there. But I also don't want to come back and then there's a legitimate
The
reason.
girl said to me,
give her the benefit of the
the
doubt.
girl said to me that the statement was made. They rebutted the statement and then it was validated again.
That's so fucked up.
So that to me, I sure give the girl the benefit of the doubt to understand what the context of the conversation was.
I'd like to ask
but
about
let's
it.
be very clear when we're talking to the camp, because you're not going to let me talk to them, and I get that. I appreciate that. I get it. Trust me, I understand. I will back off from this one, but I don't want to. And I need that camp to know that none of their counselors are allowed to have that conversation. It's not their position.
Absolutely not. Like, and if it does come out that is exactly what she said, there's going to be a big issue.
I have a problem with it.
A huge issue, to the point where like I will share that in the community, because I know a
think
lot
we are
of
right
friends.
now.
No.
I think we're having that conversation
hold
right
on.
now. We haven't said the camp or anything like that.
That's what I mean. I'm like, if they're just like, well, this is what it is because like they have certain rules at this camp, and if they're like, well, we're not going to lie, then I will have no problem jumping on our our community's Facebook group in our town and being like, FYI, because I know a lot of our friends' kids go there, and I don't want that to be spoiled.
It's a wonderful camp, by the way.
It's wonderful.
Kids are having a
so
blast.
wonderful. So this is why it's like infuriating, and this might be an isolated issue for the camp counselor.
Right.
But if they're not going to address that, then that's something that needs to be changed.
That's a
because
big concern.
It's huge. You know how many kids you're like, without permission from the parents, you are ruining that magic.
Talking
for
to my
them.
kid and ruining the magic of
That's not,
Santa Claus.
you don't get to
me,
do that. Yeah.
To me, I know this isn't a universal conversation. To me, is the equivalent of telling them about the birds and the bee without me. That's not for you to talk about.
Yeah, I agree.
And unless I'm aware that that's what you're going to talk about, it's not your place to talk about that with my kid.
Yeah. And like there's a lot of families who choose to we've had this conversation quasi in the past about like some families choose to tell their kids, you know, a different version of Christmas and Santa Claus or whatever. And that is absolutely their right. But then they prepare their kids to say, listen, not everybody feels this way. Not everybody has this information. So you're not to have these conversations because it's not a child's job. It's an adult's job. And it's not a camp counselor's job. It's the parent's job.
In grade 3, I knew that rule.
Yeah.
In grade 3, I knew, because my dad ripped the Band-Aid off before grade 3, I knew come Christmas time when we were writing letters to Santa Claus that I had to play along. I knew at 9 years of age that it was not my right to tell my friends that Santa Claus
And
didn't
you know what?
exist.
I think that's so infuriating too, because Riley is on the cusp right now where I think deep down she knows that it's probably us, but she's not admitting it, because I fully remember asking my parents in grade 5 and like, I was like shocked. Like I'll never forget it when they're like, well, what do you think? And then I was like, no. And they're like, you're right. Like it has been us, because it's devastating. It's devastating to know, but I think I already knew a little bit. But
my
you
dad
you don't
laughed
want to
and
be
said,
proven.
"No."
You don't want to be proven right, though. You don't. You don't want to be right as a child. You don't want that to know. Anyways, we're gonna run out of time.
I think she knows. I think she's
dick.
starting to question it because the tooth fairy didn't bring money for her.
Yeah. Well,
And how do you talk about like the tooth fairy not being real?
I
Well,
know.
if the tooth fairy is not real, is the Easter bunny real? If the Easter bunny's not real, the Easter
think
bunny's
those
not
ones
real,
are
and the tooth fairy's
so
not
hard.
real, is Santa.
I know those are just too hard ones to like really sell. I find.
I wish that we didn't do the tooth fairy thing.
I agree.
And to a certain degree, I wish we didn't do the Easter bunny.
Yeah.
Because it makes way more sense that a magical man with a beard can fly all over the world and drop presents off at everyone's houses than a fucking bunny. Like a bunny? A bunny.
Really?
Seriously? You're telling me that a little fairy comes in and collects everyone's tooths and then gives them money?
Teeth?
Tooths. Teeths? Their teeth? Their tooth.
You're telling me that a little fairy comes in to collect your teeth.
Yeah. And
Or
has
to
an
collect your
obscene
tooth.
amount of
To collect
money
your tooth.
to give people. That's not even plausible. Anyways, Santa.
Okay. Wait till you see your dick. Let's go.
You wanna
Now
talk
you're
about my
gonna go-
dick?
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, I would like just to say that I wasn't aware when you were telling me about the what happens when you go in and like how they prepare you, because I was like, so were you in stirrups? Like I was just picturing you laying back with your like you're about to give birth, and you're like, no. I was laying down with my legs down, and I just wasn't prepared for you to tell me that they like pull your dick up and tape your dick to your stomach. I don't know why that's so funny to me.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
And then you're like, and then it just went, because
My
you're like,
dick
don't
got
get a
so
boner.
shy.
Don't get a boner.
I'm like, no, in my head. So I went out the night before and someone overheard me talking about my vasectomy. And so they were inquisitive and they had
Really?
asked. And
With
the girl
Hammer?
said to me, huh?
You're with Hammer?
Yeah, I was with Josh. And the girl said to me, are you worried about getting a boner? And I thought, well, that thought's never crossed my mind before. Well, now I am. So I'm sitting here thinking, oh man,
Who said that to you?
the girl that was sitting beside the table beside us.
She was just eavesdropping?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess she was.
Weird.
I don't know. She heard me talk about it and she talked about it.
That's so weird now that I'm thinking about it. If you and Doc are having this private conversation and she's like, you ever think you're going to get a boner? Hey,
I didn't.
what are your thoughts
I
on your
didn't.
dick
So
being a
anyways,
boner?
I
That's
get in.
so weird.
I get in there and I'm like, all right, first thing I'm gonna do is
Not get a boner.
I'm gonna pee. I'm gonna pee because if I've got urine and I'm holding on to my urine, sometimes your body's way of not pissing yourself is to get a boner. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go piss. I'm gonna pee. I'm gonna clear the well.
Okay.
The likelihood of me getting a boner after that, not very likely, right? So then I get in and the girl's talking to me, whatever, and she's like, okay, so take your pants off, take your underwear off, lay on the table, and put the cloth over. And I'm like, that cloth? I got to put it over? I'm like, where do I put it over? And she's like, just put it over your penis. I'm like, okay. So I don't like taking baths. I don't
Right.
like taking baths.
Right,
And
right.
one of the reasons I don't like taking baths is I don't like just staring at my dick. Right? Like I don't just like naked, my legs, just fucking staring at my dick. I don't like this. This is weird. Right? Because it then just sits there and it floats, right?
Oh my God.
So I'm like, I just feel weird. Like if I'm not wearing pants and I'm laying down and I'm staring at my dick, I'm either about to have sex or masturbate. And if I'm not doing either of those, I just don't know what to do.
Okay.
Right? So imagine me now on a doctor's bed, laying like this with my feet. So I got socks on, I got no pants on, I got no
You kept
underwear.
your socks on?
I kept my socks on. Should I have taken them off?
I don't know. I just feel like it's weirder.
Like I'm not there for sex. I'm not like, hey, how do you like my fucking Frodo Baggin' feet? Like it's not an OnlyFans account. Yeah, I left my socks on, but now should I not have left my socks
the
on?
visual is just funny to me. with
It's
this
funny to
little
you.
towel.
It's funny to you. I'm wearing a golf shirt. Like I'm in a golf shirt with my socks, my hairy legs.
For whatever reason, I thought that you would also take your shirt off, so you're just having your socks.
Right. So, no, my shirt stayed on. They
Okay.
weren't.
Yeah, that's fair.
They weren't testing my areolas. They were fixing my dick. Anyway, so I'm in a golf shirt, right? So now I'm wearing this blue golf shirt, no pants, no underwear, socks, and I'm just laying there and I'm looking at my dick and I'm thinking, don't get a fucking boner. Don't get a fucking boner. And when you start thinking that, it's not good. So then I'm searching the internet. I'm just strolling on the internet, doing whatever. The guy comes in and then the opposite happened.
Yeah.
The opposite happened.
That's good.
No, I would have way, way, way more preferred a boner
Why?
than
What do you mean? Yeah?
the scaredest penis I've ever seen in my life. I have lived 40 years of my life and I have known my penis to look a certain way. This is the first time I've
It
ever
was
seen
like
it
introverted.
afraid.
It was introverted.
I was afraid. And I'm sitting here thinking, what happened there?
I don't think they're going to be comparing notes. Like, did you see the?
There's no way they don't
That's
go in
scary.
and be like, that guy's got a huge dick. Or
Yeah.
like they've got to have bets. When you walk in, they're like, I bet you that guy looks like this. I bet you that guy looks like
think
that.
so?
100% they do. They eat 12 of them a day.
Yeah, maybe.
They have to talk about this. Anyways, so he grabs it, he pulls it up, and then he tapes it across my stomach,
So
right?
funny.
So I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, well, at least you stretched it out, right? It's like, there you go. You know it's stretchy. And then all of a sudden I start looking at it again, and it just starts to unstretch. It starts to like resist the tape. I'm like, oh my God, like this can't get worse for me. Like I would have rather just rocking a massive hard on. It just wasn't happening. So anyways, the whole procedure's, it's not fun. It doesn't feel good. He's tugging away, pulling away, and you know he's working on your nuts, and he's like, he needs to move them, right? Well, there's something to be said about your nuts being grabbed in an act of sexual pleasure and your nuts being grabbed in a procedure.
Yeah.
They're not the same.
Quite different.
And it was terribly uncomfortable. Like the whole environment was uncomfortable for me, but the procedure was so uncomfortable for me that after he was finished the right nut and moved to the left, I thought to myself, how do I escape? Like, how do I get out of this chair? Is it okay if I do a half of a vasectomy? Because I just wanted to get out of there.
You had like anxiety about
And
it.
he was doing, I had anxiety because like he's soldering away. Right?
Yeah, this was like the non-invasive one, so there's no scalpel.
No, of course, there's a scalpel. There's a
It said no
stitch in my
scalpel.
nuts.
It said no scalpel.
No, so your vas deferens, the thing that connects your sperm to your floaty, like the sperm to your ejaculant, that needs to be disconnected.
Yeah.
Or they obviously connect.
So
right?
instead of cutting it, they
So
solder
instead
it.
of cutting it, that's the invasive part. They
Right.
cut off like an inch on both sides and then like solder the
really?
ends. Instead of doing that, they literally just go right down the middle of it.
Why wouldn't they just do that? That seems silly.
I don't know, but I've never experienced smoke coming from my balls before.
Yeah.
And the smell of your body being soldered is a weird smell. And then my hairy legs were just driving me nuts. I was like, this just doesn't look good. I feel like I'm in a bath with another man who's playing with my nuts and they're smoking. I'm like, I just want to get out of here. It was a great time. It was a great time.
Well,
and I
you
will
were a
say,
champ.
I've heard some great things about the vasectomy. I've talked to some of my buddies before it, and they're like, oh, easy procedure. You're in for 20 minutes. You're out. You ice your balls for a day. The next day I was cutting grass, lifting, walking, running, whatever. I've also heard the extreme. Like my dad made the mistake of coming home feeling great, cutting the grass, woke up the next day with melons for balls. He had to carry them literally
But
with
you also
had
have
to
to
carry
remember
them.
that your dad's experience was so long ago. They've changed so many things.
Yeah,
so you
they're
can't
still
really
balls,
take,
but-
I get it, but you can't really take his experience and be like, well, you know what I mean? Like things have changed.
Talking to Pete,
so
Pete
hard.
had the same experience, pain for days.
Yeah.
But I've heard so many of the next day it was fine, nothing. I'm very disappointed that it's now been 6 days. And when I sit down, it still feels uncomfortable. It still feels like I got sacked 10 minutes ago.
So I have to publicly apologize because I feel like although I was empathetic for you, I feel like I wasn't as empathetic as maybe I could have been. And I really think that derives from like literally nothing to do with you. I think it's like an innate experience that women, when we go in for labor or a C-section, we literally, for just personally, I'll talk about my experience. I'm cut open, right? And then I'm given the baby and expected to feed the baby, get up, feed the baby every fucking hour, and sent home 24 hours later with a newborn human being. And like, good luck.
Yeah, it's tough.
Right. And like, then we see you guys little cut and like, oh man, I'm hurting. And I'm just like resentful because
you
I'm
were.
like, and it's, and again,
I'm glad you're having this conversation.
I apologize because
I felt this from
I was
you.
really struggling with this situation because although I was empathetic and I was grateful that we've had this conversation and that you did go through with it and we as a couple were able to proceed with something that was a big point of contention in our relationship, I did still feel resentment that like you get these 6 days where I can't move, I can't do anything, I can't walk, and I'm taking up the pieces
6
in
days.
the household. What? Okay.
2 days of me late.
You just said 6 days, and
I'm still feeling
okay, but
it.
hold on. I'm just saying, for the purpose of this
Active
conversation,
participant in this
for the
family.
purpose of this conversation, I'm picking up all of the extra pieces, right, in our family, trying to work, fucking going back and forth between camp, work, camp, kids, blah blah blah, and you're hurting and able and allowed to sit on the couch and get better, where we don't get that. We didn't get that. I didn't get that as a female, as a mother. I didn't get that. It was like, you need to fucking figure this out or your baby ain't gonna make it. Like, it is infuriating as a society that we don't have the same expectations after surgery. And so I apologize because this really didn't have anything to do with you. It's more just generalized that it's expected so much of us and little of you guys.
Yeah, see, there was a handful of beautiful women that reached out to me to just like, hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Right? Like,
I'm so glad they were beautiful.
no, like just beautiful souls,
just kidding.
right? That reached out to me, say, hey, Ryan, how you doing? How you feeling? And my immediate response was, well, obviously this is easier than pregnancy.
Yeah.
Obviously this is easier than a C-section. I kept diminishing it. And then at one point in time, I thought to myself, you know, if Brittany were to break her toe today and have a broken toe, that would be terribly uncomfortable for her and it would hurt. I'm not going to say to her, well, your broken toe doesn't equal the 5 times I broke my ankle.
Yeah.
So as much as your broken toe hurts, my ankle was way worse.
It's just
Your
it's-
pregnancy was way worse than my vasectomy. Your C-section and your recovery was way worse than mine. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
No, and that's why I'm apologizing. But again, I think this is a societal issue because we as a society are expecting mothers to just fucking deal with it, right? Like it's a lot.
100%.
And then when you guys go through the surgery, it's not like we're comparing, but we are. At the end of the day, we really are. We're like, I think you can deal with it. And it's like, and it's more because I think a lot of, maybe sometimes men will milk it. You did not. And really, this is going to pivot in a whole other direction that I don't think we have the time for. But part of me truly thinks that you have a bit of health anxiety ever since your heart attack, because anytime you have something that is a simple, like one and done, could be whatever, even when you get like pneumonia or whatever, your immediate reaction is so terrifying. Like it's going to be the worst possible thing. And
I don't like
you
being
spiral,
sick.
and you spiral because of I think what happened when you were young, when you had that thing attack your heart. And I think since then you internalize so much and expect the absolute worst that you psych yourself up a lot of the time.
My nuts hurt.
I know. I'm just saying.
Not because I think they hurt, because they do hurt.
I'm not saying that your nuts don't hurt. I'm saying that your brain goes
Not
to
even
a
my
space.
nuts. It's actually like my groin. Anyways.
Anyway, he's doing great.
I will say this, like, it's not fair. It really isn't fair that you guys got to go through that. But the whole rest for 24 hours, 48 hours is so that the procedure sticks. If you tear the work that they did, you potentially gain access for your sperm to come back.
Yeah.
It's like I'm going in this surgery so that I can't have kids anymore. If I do damage to the work that was just done, that may literally throw out the work that was done.
But there can also be an argument where it's like you should have the 24-hour relax rule so you don't fucking open up your stomach after it was cut open, and you could potentially no longer have kids. You can no longer live because you could just bleed out.
Sweetheart, there's no doubt about it.
No, I'm just saying, I get why.
I hope that your experience when you had 2 C-sections wasn't me saying deuces.
No, not at all. I'm not saying it was. I just think society, as a society, we put so much pressure on women after having a baby to be like, and we're lucky. Canadians are lucky with our mat leave. Americans get what, 6 weeks,
Depends.
if even?
Depends on their plan.
It's a lot. And so I just think like the difference in what is expected of a woman after birth and expected after a vasectomy is so astronomically different that it is innately infuriating that it has that resentment. So this is me apologizing because I know that I could have been more empathetic and sympathetic, and I was not, because I was trying to figure out why I was feeling this way.
I appreciate that you did the looking, and I appreciate that you're having this conversation with me. I'm shocked that you're having this conversation live on a podcast and not actually having this conversation with me in the privacy of our own house. But either way, I truly appreciate day 6 you apologizing for this, because I felt it. And I kept saying to you on the Sunday, I'm like, just go out, go grab some drinks with your girlfriends. Because I knew I was useless on Friday, and I knew I was way worse on Saturday.
To be fair, it was also like compounding because you had, and this is not your fault.
I hurt my neck.
But you had just previously threw out your neck. And so you were, again, for lack of a better word, useless in our household. And it was just a lot of things were compounding because I was trying to work with the kids home and play Uber and then play caretaker. And I was just like annoyed.
I acknowledge you for doing the looking. It's not easy to say, why am I confronted by this situation? And then to not make me wrong for your confrontation. You were confronted by this. You reacted accordingly, and then you did the internal looking. That takes a lot, and I appreciate that you did the internal looking. I acknowledge you for that. It means a lot to me that I'm hearing this, because I did feel it, and I thought, I'm not wrong for being sore. Like, I'm trying my best, but this hurts.
Yeah.
I don't want it to hurt. I'm annoyed that it hurts. I wasn't expecting it to hurt, and I can't do the things I want to do because it hurts, and I can't share that with you because you're mad.
Right.
So I really appreciate that you did this looking. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I love you.
Gentlemen, you can get a vasectomy. It doesn't hurt. It just is uncomfortable, and it's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
And your balls, like you got to lay with your feet together. They pull your balls up. I would have thought my legs would have been out too.
I just pictured you like in
I thought they would have been hanging. They've just been dangling.
Yeah,
They would work
too.
underneath it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they think of it like a garage where they're working underneath. In my head, I don't know
We'll
what it
leave you
was.
with that visual.
But I'm looking at there's a table here and there's no place for my balls to sit. And I'm like, oh no, you're just going to put your legs together. We're going to pull them up and your legs are going to support the surgery here. It's so fucking weird.
What a great visual.
Anyways, enjoy thinking about my nuts.
Hey, bitch, wait till you see my dick.
There goes a sight from my soul.